All right. So we are back. Apologize, I had to take that call. Um, but it actually ended at 30 minutes. So that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna have like a 30-minute video per one, like per each thing. So therefore y'all can kind of see how each thing is going. But I did simulate and get a little bit further ahead. So of course price made a really deep correction on the 1 hour. So the good news is one, we didn't take a trade, so we avoided losing, right? Second, we see another range was built right here and price is pushing out of that. So now we need a higher low. So here's the good news about it all. Price is either going to do one of two things. Price is either going to come back to this area, right, to retest this area at the 50% level and push past this, what used to be support, now resistance. And it's been crashed through, right? But this was used to be able to be as a springboard to get to this level. So I'm looking for a higher low to get established right within here on the 1 hour because we already got one. So now we're looking for two. And then I'm actually going to zoom in because I don't want to afford an engulfment, especially on an entry right now. But right now it looks good. We have our first higher low. So once we get this second higher low established, then I can be able to set my stop loss right here and then take advantage of this trade pretty much all the way through. So let's just see what happens. We're going to simulate one. Let's see if we get an engulfment. All right, cool. I think we have a higher low being established right here. I'm going to go ahead and enter this trade. And I'm going to place my stop loss right here at this previous higher low. And then price is going to be at this 50%. I am going to get it all the way to this resistance up here. And then that will be my trade. So we're going to extend it out. And we're going to see where price goes. And then I have it just slightly behind this higher low to avoid any liquidity. Because there is liquidity sitting right here. And then we'll go from there. All right. So let's do it. And let's go 2 for 1. I believe in myself. I believe in my process. I believe in what I'm doing. All right, let's go. Cool. Bet. Shot through it. And let's see price establishing another higher low. So we already got our first TP taken care of. And now it's at that range. So it's right here. So we could close. We are already here. Technically, we are here. So we are at a 2. So here's what I'm going to do. Since I'm in this position to do that, I am going to give myself a simulated take profit, right? So this would be my TP1. So for new traders, what you have the ability to do is once you get into a trade and you're up, right? This is about preserving capital at this moment. Now, let's give a breakdown real quick of why I'm doing this, and now let's continue. As you can see, right here, there was a lot of traffic in this area, especially at this level, right? So cool. With that being the case, we see that price is trying to test this area. So as a trader, what you're able to do is you're able to take partials, right? Taking partials is basically taking profit. So therefore, you can be able to secure your trade and you don't have to really worry about anything in the sense of you lose money, like price coming all the way down here and then you close out because you're FOMOing and now boom, right? So with that being the case, I'm going to take partials right here and then we're going to basically give myself a guaranteed win, right? Cool. Now, what happens after this is that basically you move your stop loss all the way up. So say if our entry is right here, we're going to do it again for simulation purposes. So my stop loss is going to be right here, right? I've already taken profit. So the only thing that I'm worried about now is finishing out this 1-to-1, right? And that's it. And I'm going to put my stop loss basically, I would say right here, just beneath this level. And then we can go from there. So ignore this, even though it's a 1-to-4, ignore this because it doesn't matter. I've already won my trade. I already have a 1 to 2, or excuse me, not a 1 to 2. I already am 2 and 1 for the evening. So, yay me, right? But yeah, let's get that out of the way. Good win. All right, now let's see what price does. Let's see if it goes and takes all the way from my full target. All right, cool. So we did not lose money, right? We got closed out of the trade officially. We took profit, right? And it ended at the 38%. And basically what this was is like a trailing stop loss. So I got stopped out right here. So the full amount of what I would have got after that is like, you know, basically what was that? Like a 1 to 2. So it was about a 3 to 1. Let me readjust everything real quick. I had it behind here, and then I had this all the way down here. Yeah, let me okay, hold on. Let me do this instead. Cause I lost where the hell I was. All right, so boom. So this higher low was established now, and this is where it ended. We had our stop loss behind this level here. So we took partials, and then what was left from that moment, which was like right there, because we got out of the trade about right at that level. I forgot where the fuck the stop loss was. But long story short, just to not make it complicated and elongate the video, we got a 1 to 2, and we got a win. So this is an educated way of how to be able to preserve your trades. So therefore you can be able to continue on and not lose profit at all, right? I still feel like price is going to go here, so we're just going to go ahead and take our win, and now we're going to just see what price does and see how it plays out. But we have another win. Good job. Way to go. All right, so let's see what happens, because I feel like price is going to push again right here. It gave me another higher low, so I low-key could have just got another entry at that level. So let me see. Hold on. Let me see. We did break out of this. Let me see if I can do that again. Do I want to get greedy, or do I want to wait? Part of me wants to get greedy, and the other part of me wants to wait, because I feel like I said, this still hasn't been taken care of, and price is still on an uptrend. And the trend is strong. There's volume, everything. So I'm kind of just figuring out what I want to do right now. Now let's leave it. Let's leave it alone. Let's leave it alone. I got my money out of the market, and let's continue on. All right, cool. Price does what I know it was going to do, which is go and test this resistance level. And it has tested it. Boom. So, yeah. Damn, imagine that hoe getting right there, and then you still... Boy, that pissed somebody off, for sure. All right. And price is no longer trying to close at this resistance. Again, so you're seeing a good example of what I'm talking about. This level is very strong for sellers. So now you understand the ideology or the logic behind it. Like, if price is very strong in this area, you're not gonna... It has to push enough, has to get enough volume from the buyers that are right here to get there. So, but now we have another range, again, at this level. See what I'm saying? So... and by the way, for those that are like, are you seeing what I'm seeing? Yes. Reverse head and shoulders. Shoulder, shoulder, head and shoulder. On a reverse head and shoulder, we're more than likely going to get a new high or a buyer. So what we could do is we can basically go back through the process again of, we have a higher low, then another higher low along with these, then a lower low. Now we have another higher low. If we go back to the 1 hour, we have higher low. So now we're looking at a higher low here. So yes. If you're thinking what I'm thinking, we can actually look into the 15 minute. see what's happening here. Look into the 5. See what's happening here. And then we can see if price is going to aim for these higher highs to give me an all-time high. That's more than likely what's going to take place. Price is having the support right here. Give me that and give me this. Cool. So price has support right here. Price has resistance right here and right there, of course, right here. So now we have a low, higher low, and then we could get into another trade to see if price is going to push back past this. I want to see what it does. I want to see if it can give me a higher high. Because if it can give me a higher high, and I'll go for the higher low. Because then at that point, we're going for all-time highs. Whew. See, this is why we do not. But this again, this goes back to why you don't jump into every potential setup. You have to have a sense of awareness to understand things of like, all right, cool. If resistance is right here and price has yet to be able to break it, and I'm in a range, clearly things are not good. And again, before we even took the trade, right, we would have to go back out anyway and zoom out. So price is always stuck right here, which is, again, this is good news because we know, all right, cool, price is still on an uptrend, right? It's still on an uptrend. It didn't break structure. It's still on an uptrend, and it's still on an uptrend right here. So, and that's if we were to go to 4 hour, but we're staying in between the 1 hour and the 5 minute. So cool. Now we're waiting for price to touch here, which it will. Broke through. And now we have that candle. Let's see if it goes down here, tries to give another push off the buyers that are in that area. It touches. Cool. Now it gets another push off the buyers in that area. So now what are we looking for? Now we're looking for 2 higher highs. Cool. Now we got another range. By the way, this is why whenever you see a reverse head and shoulders, you don't just be like, oh, well, it's the candlestick pattern. Let me trade it. No, nigga. Look at what you're looking at. Like, pay attention to what you're looking at, not what you think is going to happen. Again, go back. If you understand my bias on that, please watch the You Are Not Raven Simone video. It's a prime example. You can't be Raven Simone in the market. You got to literally look at what the market is giving you. People will be seeing buys in a seller's market. Shit is insane, but it's the real thing. So outside of your bias, you got to look at what you're looking at. If you're seeing sells, then it's sells. The moment that it goes from sells to buys, you go from sells to buys. Until then, you're in a seller's market. Simple as that. Even no matter what the time frame is. This is currently a seller's market. This is a buyer's market. This is a seller's market. This is a buyer's market. So if you see the predominant trend of being buys, then what do you need to do? Make sure that you're in the middle of a buyer's market and not in the middle of a seller's market while it's clearly buys. Get what I'm saying? But anyway. So you either wait, right? You wait until you see your opportunity, or go find a pair that's actually fucking selling. Alright, cool. And again, it's relative to time frame as well too. It's just relative to time frame. Alright, cool. Now price is testing. It went through this level of support, this level of support, this level of support, and now this. So this is the final boss right here, where the original pot came, right? If it breaks past this, we have a whole new market, because now we are on a significant downtrend. Because this was the last higher low. So this was here. This was our low. Then we had a higher high. Because remember, we're on the 1 hour. So if we go to 4 hour just real quick, just for the sake of it. We go to 4 hour. There you go. See? So this is the last higher low. If price breaks through here, we're in a downtrend. We are officially in a seller's market. So we're going to see what price does right here. This is the final boss. All right, we are officially in the seller's market. So now we're going to be looking for what? Lower lows and lower highs to be able to get into the seller's market. So since we're here, this is the support, right? Price is already targeted this area. So now we're going to see just what price does all together. We're currently in a seller's market because it did break structure. So all we need is a lower high established, because this was the previous lower high. Once we get that previous lower high established and it comes through here and we get a lower, and we get that lower high established officially, we're going to take sales and we're going to go all the way right here. Or if not, we're going to go all the way right there. So we're going to mark both areas just so we can see how far price will push up. It's probably going to push into this area right here. Price probably going to push into this area right here. And then we're going to take the lower high that gets established within this area, and then we're going to sell it all the way back down. And then we're going to take partials there, and then we're going to see if it comes all the way here. So that's my plan for the seller's market. Of course, the buyer's plan stays as original. There's still a resistance up here that has not been taken care of. So price has one or two things to do. It's either going to go and clean everybody out down here, which it just did, and go up, or it's going to come clean everybody out down here, and then it's going to go up, because it's still in the predominant uptrend. So we're currently in a seller's market, but the buyers are still over. They still have the war won. The sellers are winning battles. That's the best way to explain this shit. So let's see what price does. See if we get a lower high established. Cool. I think I'm seeing what I'm supposed to see. Let's see. I want to see what happens. Let's see if price eclipses this. Okay, it does. Cool. Cool. Come on. Come on. By the way, when will my entry be at for this lower high right here? Oh, lovely. Cool. All right, now let's get out real quick, because this is why you don't want to ever stick to your bias. You don't want to stick to a bias. You want to be able to be flexible, right? So right now we see a lower high being established. We have our first lower high, then here. Then we have a second lower high, then here. I want price to give me a actual more significant one, because that could just be this too as well. So I want to see how price just actually reacts for real, and let's see what it does. All right. Now let's see what it does. We're very close on the entry for sales. All right, boom. I'm going to take that. Okay, where's my stop loss going to be? Right here. My entry, right there. Simple as that. We get a 1-to-1. These sellers are still here, so we're going to get this, and we're going to go from there. All right, and that's our trade. Simple as that. That's our trade. Our trade's right here. All right. Let's see what happens. Let's see if we get a higher high established. If so, then that's understandable. It is what it is. Price did break structure right here, so I'm going off of that. Plus, we have a lower high here. Let's see what price does. And give me my money. Let's do it. Oh, I love it, baby. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. Come on, man. Gotta love it. I don't even know where my... Oh, yeah, that's right. I be deleting that shit. All right, so I'm 3-1 right now. I like to thank the Academy. All right, so... Again, this is why you pay attention to breaks of structure right here. And then, again, this was a quick one, right? I could hold till right here, But we're gonna do the. I'm gonna apply the same option right here because I low key just want to start doing that a lot more. So therefore, I can secure profit a lot more in my trading. So my candle ended right here. I did get my TP. So now that's, yeah. So let me go ahead and put that right here. All right. I have already secured profit. So anything that happens after this, it's just extra. If it reverses and stops me out, I've already done what I need to do. In the reality, I would have a trailing stop loss that would be basically right at this area, if not about maybe right here. Yeah, I would probably just have it just behind here. And then anything above that, it'll stop me out of trade. But my next target is right here. We're getting one more. So let's see what happens. All right. Let me speed up a little bit. All that anticipation. All right, cool. Yep. All right, we got stopped. All right, we got stopped. So we didn't get all the way through. We got about right here, right? So we got stopped out. I could have took more if I wanted to. It is what it is. Either way it goes, we secure profit. Bada bing, bada boom. You get the point. All right. Next trade. So right now we're 3-1 on our backtest night on silver. This is really good. Last night I did go, or the last time I backtested was like a couple nights ago. I went 5-5 and I was pissed. I ain't gonna lie. I just traded terribly. But all right. So now we know that we're in a seller's market. So now we're gonna be looking for the next lower high. We already have our next indication, which is from here to here. And you see the process is literally rinse and repeat. That's all it is. This process is literally rinse and repeat. You either are gonna sell or you're gonna buy. Mark your zones. Mark your fucking zones. Simple. Just mark your zones. You mark your zones, you're gonna know where price has a tendency to go to. Look how everything, just before we go to the next two. Yeah, so I'm gonna stop this video after this, after I explain this. Price left off here, right? Came here. Where did it go? Here. Where did it go? Back here. Where did it go? Here. Where did it go? Back here. Again. Back here again. Then where did it go? So left off a mark, right? Cool. It went where? Back here again. Then what did it do? It left a mark. And then it came and cleaned up. So wherever price leaves a mark, it typically cleans up. You know what I'm saying? There you go. But now we are going to be looking for price either to continue a sell into the lower high. So it's going to put a lower high in this area. It didn't get here, but it got very close. So we're going to see now if it's going to give me another lower high to this area. And then we're going to push it down for the sell again because it left its mark, right? Remember what I just said. It left its mark. So I'm looking now for a lower high to give me to go clean up its mess that it left. And we're going to see if it has a other mess that it needs to go clean up. It doesn't as of right now. So with that being the case, that sell will be brief. It will be just to this area. So we're going to look for another lower high. We're going to see a push back into this area. All right. It didn't give me the push that I wanted, but it did go clean up. All right. So cool. Now we got to get another lower high established. All right. This is important. So now we are at the 78% level. It came back. We're going to see it touched this area, the support area right here. We're going to see if it invalidates this trend, because if it invalidates this trend, then that means we are officially in what? A bull market. You got it correct. All right. So it's going to use this as a springboard, as support, and it's probably going to push up into this area. So we almost have an invalidated trend. And actually, we technically do, because price did touch here. And we do have a higher low. So let's delete this real quick. And now we have a higher low, right? So now we're looking for our second higher low. Let me see if I can take advantage of this and get a quick buy. So where's my stop loss gonna be? Right here. Where's that? All right. So now we're at this higher low. We see this candle. I'm looking for price to get back here. So yeah, let me go ahead. Give me a buy. Yep. Already. Right there. And we're gonna make it right here. So we're gonna give me a nice little 1 to 2. Is there anywhere I need to go? Yeah, I could go higher. I could go to here because price has not made up this area yet. This is still a gap, and price always fills gaps. So we're gonna have it about right here. So we're gonna give myself another 1 to 2, and we're going to see what happens. All right, right now we're 3 and 1. Let's see if we can go 4 and 1. And then this will be the last trade that I do before we go on to the next video. All right. And we win again. God damn, nigga, I'm on fire, man. I need my money. All right, we're 4 and 1. Okay, so again, just the same type of stuff, bro. So it's the same thing. I know that I have not been marking anything. I do apologize. So let me just kind of mark the stuff up so that we can be able to catch up real quick. If you've been marking and making mental notes, beautiful. Well, way to go. Well done. Am I immune to marking stuff up? No. No one's immune to marking anything up. So don't even, don't think that you get to a level to where you don't do that. This is just something that I'm able to, verbally explain out loud. So now it's allowing me to be like, okay, cool. I know where this is going, and I have a feeling where this is going. And I always can be wrong. So that's the other thing. All right. And then we have this high that was established. Cool. So now, all right, what are we going to do again? Somebody's going to say, take partials. Yeah, so, all right, 4 and 1. Now, I am going to take partials. I'll close this trade out. Now, let's see. Oop, nope. Now, my stop loss is going to be here. If I can get it up there. There we go. My stop loss is now here. Yep, my stop loss is here. My next TP is here. My entry for the official trailing stop loss is right there. All right, so now we're gonna see where price goes. Simple as that. And by the way, like I said, we've already won, so we're 4 and 1, right? We're 4 and 1 right now. All right, cool. We're out. Just like that. That's it. Simple as that. So this is why I sound like you don't lose money. Because think about it. Let's go back. Let's go back. So let me explain taking partials in this sense. So you have made basically whatever this is. Whatever this is, because originally your entry or your stop loss was back here. So basically from here to here, right? So this is what's remaining, and it stopped right here. So technically, you didn't get to capture all of this, right? You didn't get to capture this, but basically from this line all the way until right here, you captured all of that, whatever was left of that. Simple as that. So this is what you got left of the trade after your entry. So you got this remaining of whatever this is. Simple as that. That's the best way to explain the trailing stop loss. And you taking partials, and then whatever the partials over this, it gets added onto your take profit. Next video.